Hey friends, welcome back to Everyday Energy. Today is day 10. I've got a lovely little stretch session for you today. It's going to feel so good. We are focusing on the hips and on the chest. We're going to spend some time face down on the mat today. If that's no good for you, I'm going to cue you through how to do this standing. It looks exactly the same. You just tilt yourself. And then we will also spend some time on your knees. So if you need a little bit of extra padding for that, go ahead and grab something and I'll meet you on the mat. Starting off, lying face down, ease yourself down there. Again, if you are standing for this, my mat is your wall. You're just standing up on your feet. All right, here we go. I'm going to place my hands slightly outside of my shoulders, about as wide as my mat, but you can go as wide as you like. Same thing. We're going to gently press up and away, rolling through the spine and coming back down. Now I'm sort of rippling through my spine like this, peeling off of the mat. We're just working on mobilizing that upper back. Try to release that squeeze on your glutes. Try to let your low back stay soft. Ooh, peeling up like a snake. And again, if you're standing, this is going to be a much smaller range of motion just because you don't have gravity holding you down. But pressing away from the wall all the same. Maybe look up to the ceiling and then slowly peel yourself back in. Ooh. Good, my friends. We're here for just a few more seconds. And 3, and 2, and 1. Let's bring the elbows down. I'm going to rest on my forearms, making a nice 90-degree angle in the arm, opening up through the chest. I'm looking straight ahead of me. I'm going to look over my right shoulder and then over my left shoulder. This is nothing serious, just getting into the neck and shoulder. So if you'd like to take a little angle, a little figure 8, a little head wobble somewhere in there, just actively pressing away from your mat, from your wall. Thinking about keeping the shoulders as far apart as they can possibly go, making some space for the heart. Lower body is relaxed. You can do little sleepover legs if you want. Side to side here. Being aware of how your hands are making contact with the ground, maybe spreading out the fingers. Maybe finding a moment to pause in the middle, look up and look down, nodding your head yes. Gently, gently, gently. Good. I'm starting to feel some heat building up in my shoulders. Feels good. All right, we'll spend a few more seconds here, and then we're going to come back down to the ground. If you are standing, or if you're on the ground, it's difficult to see me, I'm going to stand up so I can show you the next shape that we're going to make. But you can work your way back down to the mat. So pretending that the wall is my mat now, I've got my hands down. I'm going to kickstand my left leg, drop it across my body behind me. I'm twisting over onto my right shoulder, looking towards my left side, allowing that leg to cross back behind me, allowing that twist to happen at my mid-spine as I open up through the shoulders. My right ear coming down to my mat. If you'd like to do it standing, it looks exactly like that. We're using that wall, we're using that floor as support for some leverage. Oh, this one feels good, but again, twist can be very tender, so moving gently. I'm kickstanding that left leg in. I'm going to drop it across my body behind me, or maybe just reaching out in that direction if it doesn't reach down to the floor. Pressing myself onto my right shoulder, opening up through that pec, soft in the arms. Really thinking about reaching in opposite directions. Top of the head down through that extended leg, back foot heeling across behind you as you gaze out in the opposite direction. Let's take deep breaths here. Finding any small way we can release into this position. Keeping that movement going with the breath, even though we are holding. We are always, always, always moving. Let's be here for 3, 2, 1, and we'll gently release, bring it back to the center. We're going to take a moment in the center just to see how we responded to that twist. Ooh, in times of stress, whether it's emotional, just busyness, whatever it is, I know I personally tend to carry a lot of tension in my chest, in my hips, in my low back. So if anything pops up for you, take your time with it, see if your body's talking to you. Otherwise, we're going to go into the other side, tenderly, softly. Let's do this. Bringing that right foot up behind us, dropping it back across the body. I'm running into my wall, but I can still find some space to stretch into. I'm going to stretch my leg out long. Coming onto that left shoulder, maybe even pressing away with that right hand. If those hips are coming to stack, dropping that right hip behind you. Opening up this twist. Finding length from the top of the head out through those left toes. Softening with every exhale. Good, we're here for 3, 2, 1. Let's let it go. Let's gently bring it back to the center and take your time. We're going to press up off the floor. We're going to come into a half kneeling position. I'm going to pad up my mat for a little extra cushion for my knee. And I'm going to come into this nice 90-90 kneeling position. You could also do this standing up with this front foot maybe up on a chair or something, or even just a yoga block if that feels more comfortable. When we drop that tailbone down, we are rotating the pelvis into neutral. The hip flexors and the glutes are antagonists. So if we squeeze those glutes, if we engage those glutes, the hip flexors are going to find time to relax and release. I'm getting into my hip that's closer to the wall, yeah? Squeezing those glutes underneath me, not pressing forward into the hips, but again, rotating, 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 gently lifting through the fronts of my hips, feeling that stretch on this side, right up the front. Now, this might already be enough, and you can stay here. If you'd like a little more, we're going to take the hands behind the head, elbows stretching wide. We're going to gently curl in, chin towards the chest, elbows towards each other, and peeling the elbows apart, reaching forward with the chest, maybe even looking up a little bit. We curl in around the heart. And we reach out, lean back like you're on a beach somewhere. Good. How's that hip flexor doing? Can we squeeze the glutes a little more? Can we keep those hips even and square? Gently pushing forward into that hip. We'll go for 2 more chest stretches here. In and out and open. And last one in. And out and open. Excellent. We'll sit it back. Give that knee a little bit of a break. We're going to switch right into the other side. If you're feeling sensation in the hip flexors zinging up the front of your body, that is A-okay. If it feels too tender, take back the range of motion. Keep breathing, moving through this really gently and really patiently. But if you're feeling more sensation that just surprises you and doesn't bother you, that's a good thing. All right, here we go. Other side, setting up in this tall half kneeling position. Drop the tailbone, squeezing the glutes, rotating that pelvis underneath you, that infamous posterior pelvic tilt. Ooh, here we go. Oh, I'm already feeling stuff on this side. Pressing into that front foot to give you support. You'll notice I've got my back toes tucked. Up to you whether that feels good or not, but I find that it helps. I'm going to bring my hands up behind my head, elbows spread wide. We curl in. And we open up. Again, focusing in on that hip. Keep reconnecting to that feeling of that glute contracting. Gently opening up the front of the hip. Good. Ooh. Let's go 2 more, nice and easy. Feel free to grab onto a wall or something if you need a little extra support. I'm kind of wobbly on this side. Good. Let's go 1 more. and we'll let it go. Let's walk the knees back. Let's walk the hands out. We're gonna sit, hips down into a nice child's pose. Now, option here to tuck those toes, press back into those heels, get a little stretch in the bottoms of the feet. You can hang out in that child's pose, but if that's not feeling good, let's bring our hands to a countertop, even to the wall, to the back of your couch, whatever you got. We'll sit back in those hips, easy bend in the knees, allowing the shoulders to hang heavy. This is one of my favorites. Feeling that spine stretch out. Again, stretching out across the chest. Let the head, neck, and shoulders go. Planting the feet, and if you like, maybe taking a little wiggle side to side in the tailbone. Let's take 2 more breaths together as a team. All the way in. Filling up the sides of the ribs, the mid-back, the belly, the hips. Exhale, let it go. Last one in. Exhale, let it go, and let's start to gently roll up wherever you are. Head, neck, and shoulders come up last. Thank you so much for moving with me today. Happy day 10, and I'll see you tomorrow.